Hey everybody, welcome to Granblue Radio. This is episode number 314. This is Vibrating Sheep. We are 1 day away from the ninth anniversary, DJ. How you doing?
Fun. I'm excited.
Oh man, I also am excited, but I'm also realizing that it's like, alright, I need to ruin my sleep schedule in order to make sure that I'm, ready for this. Which, I always do. But, it's, uh, it's a good time. It's a good time. Alright, so today we're doing a little bit more catch up on what we didn't report on and discuss while we were in Japan, but
hmm
there's a more immediate concern. And let's start with the easy one first. So we have Fediel as a summon. That was the last one in the cycle. Um,
Does what every other summon does.
yeah, um, the call in this specific case is much closer to being like Wilness's call, up to 100k, blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, it does exactly what everything else does, and the dark summon grid gets ever more crowded, just like every other summon grid, really.
I
And
mean, with all these other ones that are full with summons that work in every element.
yeah, and some that yeah, Yatima is just like, well, they work better in certain ones, but yeah, there's some that are just better. Period. Like the
Beelzebub,
Beelzebub.
Belial.
Belial I've been taking out more and more. It depends though. Mostly by taking out more and more, I mean I've been doing really hard content more and more. So
Yeah, that's not really that's not much
that's
of a
like
change.
that's 7 fights in the game or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so with the 4 stars for the six dragons coming out as summons, there's going to be a whole lot happening with that, and there's a lot of movement coming in the next month. We'll find out. We'll get there when we get there.
hmm
Uh, Next up, we're talking about characters that came out with the most recent Premium Gala. We're gonna start with the easy one, like I said. Here's Hekate. We talked about this with Wilness. We talked about this with Percival a little bit. Their solution to the supplement everybody's damage thing is by making enormous red numbers. Um, and she doesn't, she's not immune to the whole supplemental damage is better than cap up thing, given that her skill 1 here is 8 hits.
It's always a
And
hits.
yeah. Um, but the other things are just, she has really big, enormous numbers every 3 turns. Um, so what she does is very similar to her summon version, and by similar I mean exactly this skill right here. It lets her
Yeah,
put the summon passive on another character.
it's
If
the
you
exact same summon, same status as from her summon. So you should not put on MC if you already have the summon in the back.
Yeah, and so the number on the damage that you do every turn is 1.2 million ish every 3 turns. And if you have it on 3 characters, they all will go off separately. So there are some really fun videos of just like, you take a turn, and then after the turn, just an extra 3 times, the moon comes out, and you drop like a 4 million plus nuke, and then
Well,
um,
hers from her passive is actually smaller, but uh, all the same.
mhm. Yeah, the one here, Full Moon Feast, is how big is that? It
It's
is
635K.
okay. So it's about half as much before you talk about all of the cap ups and seraphing and all the adjustments you can make to it. But
It
yeah,
doesn't
so
tri-flick the local charm though. That's kind of cool.
mhm,
Makes sense. She's a succubus.
yeah, she is much more succubus than primal, and they knew exactly what they were doing when they cast Ito Shizuka in this role.
I don't know
Um,
what you mean.
but yeah,
Anyways,
that's right. Yeah. But yeah, so she wants to drop Embrace of Night Tide on the other 3 characters as quickly as possible. And then beyond that, she's a crest character where the crests matter specifically for scaling Twilight Proposition's buffs. So that is, she has the inverse buttons to Valentine's Aglavale. They're very similar and very familiar. So um, you get the damage cut, you get the debuff success rate up, Veil, Revitalize. The attack is, I think, unique attack because of the icon on it.
Which attack?
Oh,
It's
sorry, it's not attack, it's
strength.
strength. Yeah. So 20% strength at max HP, and yeah, the crest. And so, you know, these two buttons work very similarly to characters like Manamel and Aglavale, who are known quantities. But yeah, this is a whole ton of damage that you can do with this character.
Yeah, she doesn't increase her number of hits though, and
Mm-hmm.
number cast of Moonlit Blaze based on her crest. It only affects her Bewitching Flames passive and Twilight Prepositions cast. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? That's fine. You still this is a 5 turn cooldown. It's gonna be up like 90% of the time.
And it's a fake 5-turn cooldown as well, because she also has the Aglavale CA, which is 1 turn cut to skill cooldowns. Yeah, there's and because she gives you revitalize naturally, and the hidden the one that doesn't count as a buff because it is a one-time charge bar plus 20, then yeah, she's gonna be hitting that button pretty often. Every like 3.5 turns is probably a conservative estimate.
Yeah, the one thing I do like about this too is the way the
Hmm.
buttons are actually structured, where because her debuff does not scale off of crest, they just put at skill 1.
Yep, you do not need to hit this first. Or you don't need to hit the crest buttons both first, is what I meant to say. And so you hit the non-scaling one first and get the crest, which scales the second one. And so yeah. Um, then the last thing on her is the crest passive, which she gives herself attack up,
30% attack, normal modifier.
which is
Second crest is 100% bonus boosted defense.
mhm,
Third one is guaranteed double attack. Fourth one is 20% boost to skill damage cap. And the last one is to activate skill 1 on taking damage.
which is definitely the Manamel thing, and it is so much damage.
Yeah, if you're
uh,
in a fight that literally will hit you regardless, it's really good. The difference between Manimal is that Manimal's numbers are way bigger, but she's
she
also liable to stop attacking after a while.
she's liable to stop working. So anyway, this is a really fun character. You get to see red numbers go brrr, and you look in the EMPs, and once again they're just like, look, you know what you're doing with this character. We know exactly what you want, and it's disgusting. Anyway, so simple, strong. The design of Hekate. The interesting thing about this is that it points to the latest line of Unite and Fight bosses getting fast tracked into character status. So
I'm
I know
okay with that.
you're looking ahead to Noir. I'm interested in seeing what Nozuchi does. There's a lot of these characters who would be interesting as characters instead of bosses, and I am okay with that being the fast track. Um, yeah, Noir is summoned yet, is she? She's just a leftover design from Rage of Bahamut.
I don't know. I didn't
I
look
think.
that one up.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So here comes the one that people will um, talk about a lot because they've already talked about it a lot, and then people have always they always just make their own decisions in advance. Um, here's Luo. So Luo is technically the fifth in the series, but he's actually the sixth of the dragons to come out. He's the last one
Because Elware came out a long time ago as a cat.
as a cat and is not a grand. We'll see what happens if they ever decide to make a grand Ewiar. As it is, um, the joke is that Seaphon is the sixth wind dragon because he's the one who has the V2 passive.
I mean, I believe it.
I mean, that's the story that's going on right now, right? Anyway, so here's Luo. They announced Luo a month and a half ago, but people have been expecting him for over a year.
Yep,
Um,
since we got the first dragons.
mhm. And so there's a huge amount to talk through here because, as with most of the other dragons, there is an entire machine that requires a field and then just a bunch of other numbers interacting with each other. So where do you
The
want to
good
start?
news is that there's not much field effects in light as there are in dark.
This is very true. So he doesn't interfere with the field other than I think it's isn't it Halloween Charlotta who has a field? Not Charlotta, Halicena. Is that a field?
I
It
wouldn't know. I don't
is.
have the character.
It is not a field.
No, it's a
Okay,
buff.
it's a buff. Okay. Um, so anyway, so all right, we'll start with the field because the field effect is one of the ones that that's where everything starts. Summer's All Melina has a field. That's right, Reno. Thank you.
Is it local field?
Summer's All Melina, it should be a local field. Um, for the one for Yukata
Oh yeah, it
version,
is.
it is local. Yeah, Iliophanea, which is the everyone can crit, also attack up, defense down. So this one is the field itself is very simple. It is light allies get 1,000 HP at the end of every turn, and the enemy gets 30% normal attack up. And
That's not insignificant.
it is not insignificant, but the thing is that once again, there's a machine at work here, and his attack down will cancel it out. And then you can get other attack downs that will be full effect, and you can go back down to minus 50, the maximum of minus 50% eventually.
Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm. So the thing is that you can stack multiple attack downs, and they will max out at minus 50%. And as far as I know, even if the boss has an attack up, then you can continue doing the attack down. It'll still max out at minus 50% total, but you can still do the attack downs. That's the way that it's been explained to me before.
The problem with that is that nowadays most things only get attack down from stackable attack down.
Um, so Agastia takes normal attack down, defense down. Um, the entire Diaspora series actually they took that restriction off.
Well,
Um,
mostly because you need to hit debuffs on those ones.
mhm. And so there, it's a dial that they can do, and in V2 all of them work, and V2 is where these dragons tend to shine the brightest. So the last time we had one where regular attack down, defense down didn't work and only a stackable or elemental did was Super Ultimate Bahamut. No, actually doesn't Super Ultimate Bahamut also get affected by those? So it might be like it's been a while. Reno might remember better if like regular attack down, defense down work on
According
Subaha.
to this, it does.
Yeah, so it's Belial I think was the last time they made one that it doesn't work on. And then on top of that, he stacks special attack damage down, local up to 30% down. So once he's fully in effect, then he along with his field will provide 10% attack down to the enemy, and then from there you can stack more attack downs.
Well, if you're yeah, with the caveat of it can't be stackable.
Right, because he stacks up to 40, and then you have to go, yeah, Mistworks and Super Bahamut. Yep, I
Yeah, you have to
remember
find the
that
other
from,
sources.
yeah. All right, so that's part of the skill 3 here. Then we have the passive, so this is the inverse of Fediel's is the way that you try to think about it. So when that field is up and Luo is on the field, then every light character gets 50% debuff resistance. Um, gets let's see here.
100% DA, 30% TA, 100% boost to CA damage, and 50% boost to CA damage cap.
And those second two you can get in light by pressing Grand Cagliostro's buff button, but then that comes with a huge downside also, which is you get 50% meter gain down, or 35? 35, it got buffed. And so um, the debuff resistance is an interesting one because it is not the full inverse of what Fediel gives you. Because Fediel gives you full debuff resistance, but it's removable. This is not removable unless you just remove Luo from the front line.
I mean, the enemy could just remove Luo from the front line.
This is true. And in his kit, unlike with Fediel, you get healing instead of defense. And so he is not giving you defense. He's giving you a 1k heal a turn from here, and then the revitalize up on Prayer of Imminent Light is another 1k? Let me look. It's 1k.
It's 1k.
So he's giving you 2k healing a turn, which is more than Uni gives as a heal. He gives the debuff resist instead of debuff duration down, and pretty much all content these days you would rather have the debuff duration down. You get so this is a permanent buff that cannot be removed by dealing damage, dealing instances of damage. You'd have to take 60% of your health in damage before this falls off. And then you have until then you have permanent keen, which is 50k extra damage when you crit, guaranteed crit for 30% crit damage, and then 50% attack up, which is on the
Normal fire.
normal modifier. Okay, that one's bad. But the keen part is basically the important part. It is a keen that doesn't fall off as long as you are at high health. And the definition of high health is pretty generous. So that's the second part of this machine here. Then there's Radiant Spear Throw, which is his nuke. He does 6 hits of light damage, which is 100k a hit, so relatively on par with everybody else's.
But he has a keen built into himself.
Right, so each of those hits is already plus 50k. Then it does the when the field is up, then he casts this every time he normal attacks, and this damage is, by the way, actually pretty much the same as Fediel's Miasma Hands. So
yeah, the difference is that Fediel's Miasma Hands is defense down and multi-attack down. This one is attack down and special attack down. That one's actually permanent, can't be removed too. That last one.
Mm-hmm. And so the last things are, while the field is up, he does 3 million plane damage additional on his CA. So that's there as a sort of reflection of CA reactivate from Fediel. So instead of doing a second CA, he just drops 3 million in plane damage, regardless of what's going on. And then the very last part is, okay, so this one is the one that I'm not defending. This is the one where
This
I was
one's
like,
bad. This one's literally bad.
remove a single buff from all foes when you cast a fatal chain.
All right, let's go
chain.
through the list of V2 fights that put a buff on them that can be removed, and you would want to use this in.
Siegfried.
Okay, cool. He dies to Siegfried.
Yep. Agastia does put up buffs if you've messed up.
And that's you should not be in that position in the first place.
Or the thing is that you're light and you can summon things like Metatron or Lumi that also dispel a lot. There's no short.
There's a lot of characters that do it just by CAing, some that do it on a button that you want to hit anyways.
Yeah, like I use Noah, and Noah is one of my ways out there. Also, Vera does it like pretty well.
Vera does it on CA and also on a button.
Yeah.
And it does like 1 billion damage.
Yeah. So
also the thing that in the Gassia fight, you want to use your what's it called?
Faded Chain.
You want to use your Faded Chain on
aggressively.
Yeah. So you have like no chance to ever use it as a defensive tool. It's always going to be offensive.
It's there to cancel the six elements of damage omen, basically, and then
also get rid of the damage mitigation. That's
that's
important.
The first time. Also true. So we're not defending limitless fight. However, Um, so everything is in context, right? And so comparing the Oriole of Life passive to a Grand character, that one's favorable. That CA spec up matters a lot in high defense content, and which is a lot of V2. Like Fediel can't be debuffed, you know? Like this is a strong way to fight Fediel the dragon fight. Um, we have a crew member who's brought him to um, Agastia with pretty strong results, but he's like, yeah, I'd probably use other characters instead, which are slightly different. They attack on a different axis from this. Um, but that's for V2 stuff. There's other context as well. He is currently one of the best characters possible to stick Bunny Buff on. He doesn't dodge nearly as much as Bunny Buff, but he will throw down enormous amounts of damage when you give him double strike
Until he gets hit twice,
until he gets hit twice.
because
Uh,
your dodge is like 40%.
right, and unlike the really popular the other two like most popular bunny switches, he has no self dodge options. But for fights where that isn't necessarily going to be the way that he loses the bunny buff, like it's disgusting actually. He will drop enormous let's see. So it's 6 hits from him. It's 4 hits from bunny buff, I think, with double strike. So he does 20 hits of nuke every time he attacks with bunny buff up. That's pretty funny. And then when he CAs, it'll drop another 3 million plane. Um but yeah, the let's see. Other contexts are that his existence heals your team for at least 2k a turn. He has a heal up node that will affect his healing on himself. MC has a heal node. Um, so yeah, because Revitalize, technically the way it works is that it comes from yourself. So each character's healing nodes are the ones that are taken into account when you're revitalized.
Hmm.
Um, and so his Revitalize will heal him for more than normal. The MC, since you should usually be putting healing nodes on your MC now, will heal for more than normal. Other characters, it depends. Um, but yeah, and so that's the package, right? It is an inverse of Fediel, but it is worse in a couple of clear and um, maybe it could definitely feel bad to compare them to the two directly, and they're supposed to be compared directly, given that their abilities
They're
are
dragons.
they're dragons and their abilities are mirror images of each other in effect. That said, um, do you consider this character to be disappointing?
He's all right. I have no place to put him,
Hmm.
really. Like,
Yeah.
I have to be like his second passive, which, yeah, is really bad in most comparisons.
Hmm.
He has no fight. He has no fight in V2 that uses this.
Yeah. Like I said, this part at the very end here, it really colors a lot of the rest because like a lot of this other stuff is very good, like very good.
Yeah, the
Um,
other stuff is amazing. But we get to the part where a lot of these dragons are like have such good uses in their V2 fights, and then there's this.
hmm And also not just V2 fights, but like for all that people crapped on Wamdis, she's still amazing in like non V2 fights. Like she was a Nightmare 200 queen. She's being used in like hard solos of all sorts of content as water. Like there's a bunch of Super Ultimate Bahamut solos with her. She works well with like supplemental damage and stuff like that. Um, Yeah. Philippopotamus in chat is like, I never understood the Wamdis hate, but I kind of get the hate here. Um, and then like this character is essentially strong, but people hyped themselves up in such a way, and the expectation was created also by Cygames that he would be a monster. And I mean, Light is full of monsters. Light and Earth are probably the two most monstrous in terms of just like character gorilla strength. I don't know
Yeah,
about
that's right.
Yeah, okay. It's like in terms of just density. And so the field that he's up against is very tough. Like that said, he's not a bad character. He is a very good character. There's like if you just ignore this limitless white part, then you're like, okay, the 30% attack up is something that they just took away from Vikala field. Um, and it definitely, like, if you look at it and you don't have the full context of everything else on here, then it does feel bad. Um, the debuff resistance being permanent and unremovable is probably permanent, instant, and unremovable is probably why it's 50% instead of 100%.
I don't know. It feels bad when you get hit by a debuff, though. Yeah,
It
it's like,
does,
well, I missed the 50/50.
yes. And that one,
And he has nothing in his kit that lowers it down, unlike Uni.
mm-hmm, Uni or Iatromantis and things like that. And this is an era of boss design where the debuffs that you get are punishments for failing. That's one, and so they cannot be veiled for the most part if they're punishments for failing. And the best thing to do is to just make the failure period and the punishment period as short as possible with characters like Satyr or Satyr, the other Satyr, Uni, Iatromantis, things like that. And yeah, he doesn't do anything about that. Um, Fediel lets you ignore that it ever happened in the first place for a lot of them.
And gives you a shield, a really
Hmm.
beefy shield.
Yeah, Reno's like he gets pretty close to to monstrous because him and like Pig basically are the best receivers of supplemental damage as a buff. Like him, Bunny, and Pig basically. Um, but I don't know if people really were like, we wanted a character who is a Grand Lancelot level of character for light. It's like I don't know if people wanted that. What did they want? I don't know. Everybody, you ask a player and they'll tell you something different because there was a long hype cycle for this character. Um,
You want to talk about his weapon?
sure, let's talk about his weapon. So his weapon,
So there's kind of problems with using this weapon with the rest of the grid that's really good.
um, so you have the Majesty on this. You have, let's see
Which is
here.
small.
You have the two Ivory Arcs, or is it three and you're using Beelzebub? It depends. I get there's a lot of context involved with this thing, given that this is exactly Wamda's umbrella. Like,
If you're using Beelzebub, there's another problem of you don't have enough HP
yeah, you don't have boosted HP. You're right.
to use the Golden Vitality.
Hmm.
Because usually, like, even with the current setups with two Ivory Arcs, your Opus, and two of these,
Hmm.
most of the time you hit a 60k, 70k only.
Okay, because right now in Agastya, due to me being Sword Grid, this is not Harp Grid. I'm saying this right out now. Then I hit 90k and then 100k on MC. Um, that's in specifically Agastya, and I'm building for hit points there. Under normal circumstances, you got what? So your high end light grid starts with Harmonia, and Harmonia has no HP on it.
Correct.
Your HP pretty much comes from Ivory Arc, yeah?
Two Ivory Arcs.
Yeah, and then three if you're only using single Zeus. Yeah. This has some of the many of those same problems as Wamdis Umbrella. Like it's useful, but I don't know if like this is not a chase weapon in the same way that like the signatures were, for example.
Oh, let me look up my HP. So in my current grid I'm using for Agastya, I
Hmm.
have no flex spot for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have the two Horus Katanas, so I can actually do damage during the first part.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a Horus Katana and two Schrodingers in there because I need the hit points and the defense.
Yep, so I have the defense from that. I have a Lancet. Lancet's really good.
I wish I had that. Yeah,
Yeah, Tigo loves me anyways.
I remember. Um, but yeah, like Reno says, it's like who do you boot for him? there are very strong setups with him in them. Um, but like he is not the linchpin. He's just a very good receptacle for buffing.
Yeah, and there's any ifs or above. Aglaveil's literally like the best all-around character in Light, like just all around. And
And
he provides the defense down.
if you're um if you're in trouble, if you're ever in danger of dying, then Uni is the best character in Light. It feels like.
And she can double cast onto the all-arounder I just mentioned.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, the thing that makes me interested in the future of this character is like, so when Wamdis got buffed, like we had been saying for months that not Wamdis, sorry, Wilness.
Wellness.
It, uh, I got them mixed up when I said the words, but
Wellness was
anyway,
already good.
yeah, Wilness was always good. Wamdis was always good. I don't think Wamdis even needs to be buffed at all for people to just use her. Willness is already good, and they did basically what I call a look at me buff. Like you see that a lot in video games with like a lot of options, where it's like in like gun terms, like this gun has slightly less recoil now, and then people are like, huh, I wonder, and they just use it, and they're like, oh, this has always been good, okay, and they just start using it, right? Um, or you know, in things like Dota and League of Legends, they'll get like a minor numbers buff, and people are like, that doesn't mean anything. And then they play the character, and they're like, oh, the character was already good. Um, like Wilness getting a nuke on his FC basically didn't mean anything. Getting singed helped a little bit, but really just the character was already amazing. There was nothing wrong with the character to start with.
Him
This
getting
one,
Sid just made him best friends with Percival.
yeah, this one they really need a lot of sauce on this FC to do something. Like there's, maybe.
There's never a reason to be defensive with your FC.
Mhm. It's either going to break an omen or it's there to do a ton of damage or both. And
But
yeah,
just being a thing to remove a buff, and because it's not a skill, it
mhm,
doesn't even work with CAG.
right. Yeah, it's not going to be a look at me buff when they inevitably buff Limitless White. That's uh that's
Like
basically the
I
number
thought
one thing I'm looking
this
at
would have
first
been the one that got the heal.
instead of Galleon. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's the thing. It's like, so Willness gives himself meter and does a nuke. Okay, so that's just tons of damage because it means that the next turn after that he's guaranteed triple attacking with his, always on like amp and assassin, blah blah blah. Galleon heals and reduces debuff time. So two very good survival things. Wamdis has damage mitigation, which is also a very good survival tool.
I looped that in Mugen fight.
Yeah. Fediel gets her skills back, which is huge for her
And
survival.
that's huge for any character.
Yeah. Like you
Well,
just
not if it was on this character, it actually wouldn't matter that much because getting skill 1 back means nothing
nothing.
half the time.
Yeah. Getting Radiant Spear throw back doesn't necessarily mean that much. Like it means it does damage, but he does it every turn anyway. Like
Yeah,
getting skill 2 back on Fediel is the least important part of that. It's nice, but
it's a
really
skill 1.
it's really about refreshing skill 1. And so that's another survival and like power thing because you get another 10,000 shield. Luo, yeah, Luo needs something here. We'll, I still,
We'll see what they'll do
yeah,
with Limitless White.
I still say that the character is very good. It's just once again, there's a lot of context to be talked about here. Like, it makes me really annoyed though when I see like people like, oh yeah, game with ranks him as an S tier. How awful! And it's like, what? Are you looking at the same words I am?
Look, I ignore the internet like 90% of the time if they talk about literally anything.
They do it in the replies to me. I tried, like, there's only so much muting I can do. Yeah, if it delayed, it'd be fantastic. That'd be interesting if it delayed. All right, so that's that's our long schneid about Luo, what he's missing, what they can change to make him better, and
And my sadness at the weapon.
yeah. Um, so what we've got next is what we missed out on when we were out uh, while we were just gallivanting around Japan. Um, so do do
You
do.
were doing this on the train.
I was, wasn't I? It's all a blur. All of these times when I just like, so I will literally tell people that I'm traveling with, it's like I will cease to be a person for the next hour, and I am sorry, and I will just do nothing but write for an hour to 2 hours.
And
If
I
he
played
sucks,
Fire Emblem.
yeah. So, um, let's see here. There's a long list of characters who got new supports, and we'll actually get to them when we. You know what? I'll just change views. We can just look at all of these together. Dee, 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 dee. Here we
So I'm
are.
actually looking at the wiki, so I have the numbers on them.
Cool. All right. So
But I have to go by elements.
in release order,
Oh, I'm
um,
useless here. Hold on.
yeah. So sorry. In release order, it's Summer Kumbi, which reduces the turn-based damage she takes. It's like, okay, you're
It reduces it by 30%. That's actually really good if you're using her skill 3 instead of a different type of burn damage on
yeah,
her.
either the Lyre Wings or the Prometheus, Fire of Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just like she already with if you use a grid slot to set her on fire, then her natural healing out healed the dot. This was no longer the case when you turned on skill 3. I think with skill 3 and this
And skill
EMP
3 skill 3 with a 3000 damage to herself every turn at max.
is 2100, and then with half healing on her heal to herself, um, yeah, actually, I think it keeps up. So if you are
It
a
gives it better than the full 3000 every turn, yeah.
yeah, so if you are the kind of person who doesn't want to dedicate a grid slot to Lyre Wings or
Which I don't blame you.
to Fires of Prometheus, which I also don't blame you, um, then yeah, this is a great AMP. All right, Summer Monkey. So this is one that you actually have to like have played a bunch of Summer Monkey to understand what this does, because it just throws a bunch of names at you. So when she uses Sage of Eternity specifically,
Which
which
is
is
her
her skill
skill
3,
3.
on a 10 turn cooldown, um, then she gets the Infinite Diversity buff effect, which
Which does what?
uh, gives her CA reactivate, dodge all, and then when she dodges, it goes back away.
So CA reactivate is really good because her CA reduces two turns of cooldown on her skill 2, which is a meter gain button.
Yeah, it's so this one is actually nuts. Like, there was a lot of play for Summer Monkey when she came out of the back, so you just didn't have to worry about waiting until turn 10 for her to eat the golden band. Um,
Yeah, because once she has the gold band off, skill 3 it will auto cast when you use it in full auto because it no longer targets.
mhm. And yeah, so Monkey got a whole lot of like just a lot of damage from this, and also a lot of casts of Land of Lotuses, which is meter for everybody. It's yeah, um,
Cap up, yeah, that's good.
yeah. It like ramps her way up because the casting that repeatedly is just like if you've ever played Rising Force Water with the Summer Monkey, it's so fun. You just press that button so often, DJ. Anyway, um, so that's Summer Monkey, very good one. Nezha, he gets Divine Might at the start of the battle.
What does Divine Might do?
Uh, so among other things, Divine Might was the one that they changed how it ramps up in the round of buffs to him. Um, so he gets fire damage specs up on his CA based on his Divine Might, and um, he also at level 5 Divine Might, he gets um, to cast his skill 1 at the end of every turn, and also with
Which is a big nuke that gives him meter and heals him.
yeah, and also 50% Fire Chaser.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But he's wind.
It doesn't. It's fine. It's still free damage that he gets for essentially existing. And so starting with 3 Divine Might with this, and then you press Tailwind Kindle, which raises it by another 1 because it's a buff skill. And then you like yeah, it's a very very big deal that you start with 3 instead of 0.
Yeah, and then you see once you get to CA, you get this Tailwind Kindle off. You get to do it again, and
And
now
then
you're at 5.
he's
And now
on.
you're auto casting a nuke every turn that heals you and gives you meter.
Yeah, which once again loops into CAing again, which lets you cast the Tailwind Kindle again, and yeah. Um, so this character went up to that same level that I put like Randall and almost Alea on, and the character got a huge boost from this. So I'm really happy about this one.
Good job, Neza.
Good job, Nezha. All right, Xion boost to attack on her charge attack and is stackable. It's like this is Summer Xion, right? Yeah.
What? No.
No, it's on regular Xion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my notes being that's me misinterpreting my own notes.
Yeah, Shubber Shion came out this year. She can't get a
She
EMP.
doesn't have it yet. You're right. You're right. So
Anyway, so it stacks up to 30%. It's pretty much permanent.
so it's basically 30% attack up because that character can basically CA twice upon entering the battle if you've built your team right.
Yep.
So it's pretty good. I don't know if that character needed that much of a boost. She's already very good.
No, she had perpetuity modifier on from having a single katana.
Yeah. All right. Albert, the Dark One. Chance to raise Thunderstruck by 1 on using a charge attack, up to a max of 10. Um,
It's
Dark
about a
Al.
50% chance of hitting that.
So Dark Albert wants to get to what 5?
5 to do quad, and also for lightning rage to hit 12 times.
Yeah. And then the first turn he's on the battlefield, he will pretty much get it to 2. And then every time he CAs, he gets another one. And so this one essentially gives you a chance to make it 2 on his CA instead of just 1. Um,
Wait, does he? Wait, hold on.
his CA ends skill 1's cooldown.
Okay.
So it's already a free Thunderstruck level when he CAs. This becomes an additional Thunderstruck level.
On a 50% chance.
On a 50% chance though, and that one's a kind of a feels bad when it doesn't happen because the difference between Thunderstruck 5 for his skill 2 and the non-Thunderstruck 5 version is really noticeable. It's twice as much damage in an element that has Agonize in it. So it's twice as many hits. It's like that button is really satisfying to hit when you have that Thunderstruck 5. Um, and then yeah, the chance to deal quad attacks when he has Thunderstruck 5 or more is pretty funny. It's it's like what it's 30% chance of quad
It's just
attacking.
a plain 30%.
Yeah. Like that one is also hard to notice. But like I don't think this one was really, it didn't really change much. Sometimes he'll get to the 5 Thunderstruck 1 turn earlier, basically. Well, 3 turns earlier, but you can't rely on it. So if
Nope.
you were already playing Dark Albert, then you'll notice it sometimes. If you weren't playing Dark Albert, this is not the reason to put him in. All right, Grand Narmea. She gets charge meter on countering. Yeah, okay.
Hey, that now she actually gets a meter from anything but external sources. Even though, you need to have the enemy hit you for try to hit you for external sources. Anyways.
Yeah, that the Grand Narmea is still one of the best characters in the game. This doesn't change that. um, True supplemental damage effect stackable when using skills. My boy True. He
Yeah,
found.
so
Go
it
ahead.
goes up to stack of 30k max, and when he's at three star for that, it's 10k for each stack.
Yeah. This isn't gonna change much about him. The character is good for the exact reasons of when we talked about that character. It's like it all depends on what you're copying. There is a very specific true loop you can do by copying Lily repeatedly, or various things like that, and that doesn't change his use case there. And otherwise his cooldowns are still a little too long for this to really do anything that you'll notice, because like sure it'll max out pretty early, but getting supplemental on a 5 hit, so it's like that's 150k damage he provides himself on his skill 2, and then when you copy something, that's where the actual spice is. But a lot of the time you won't want to copy a multi-hit nuke. Like, can he even copy Cassius? Can he copy
I'm checking
Cupiton?
Cassius.
He can copy Cassius. He that one works. So you can copy Mirage Sign. Can he copy Cupiton?
Oh,
Probably
copying
not.
Cubiton's kind of useless though,
Yeah,
because he doesn't have arrows.
he
Also,
can
he
copy.
can copy skill 2.
Yeah, he can copy skill 2 for 7 hits, and then the drain effect.
Drain. But the thing you want to copy is skill 1, and it's not copyable.
Yeah. So this doesn't change true at all. All right, DJ, this one's for you. I'm just leaving this entirely to you. Tico,
Which one?
boosted charge attack damage cap when she's in intensive care.
Oh yeah, it goes up by 15%. Is it noticeable? Not really.
Okay,
However, it's nice because the only way she can attack while she's in intensive care is to CA.
essentially, when I see Tico in the front line, the thing I know is that I'm gonna do about 1.5 million damage to Agastia, and then she will die. Anyway, uh, all right. Next up, we got Show. Um, when he's in the red, there's a chance of him getting dodge and counter.
That's not something you want to chance when you're almost dead.
The character is already good at what he's good at, and this doesn't change that. Miss Miranda, when you're not debuffed, all of your allies get attack up. This doesn't change anything.
It also doesn't stack with sheep.
Yeah. Earth Lena, boost to all allies defense when you're not debuffed. This actually is significant because Lena is a sustained character. She she wants you to drain constantly and keep your health high. And when you're not debuffed, having high defense is conducive to keeping your health high. And so this is actually a nice change, or a nice. This is a nice bonus. Sorry, there's a
Yeah, it's really a
difference.
bonus because it's only a 10% defense.
But defense adds up. Nehan, slight chance to dodge. Moving on.
You didn't need it.
Uh, Ingve, when he's in full metal mode, he gets a chance to do full force counter instead of regular counter. It's a slight buff. The character's still good at what he's good at, and now he does a little bit of extra damage when he gets hit while all subbing.
It's a 50% chance to a full force counter.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels bad when you notice that you only counter once.
Mm-hmm. Yukata Izmir, she gets bonus elemental damage, so chaser basically, when she has Icy Smile. Icy
Uh,
Smile is after she's done three times, or no? Is it
nope. Icy
before?
Smile's Ice Rapture. It's a 5-turn buff for 9 turns.
Oh, okay, that's right. It's the button. It's not flushed. Flushed is what I was thinking of.
Plus,
So
you also
five,
want to get rid of so you can actually multi-attack.
right?
However, I don't know multi-attack with this character ever.
Yeah, I don't normal attack with Izmir, so this boosts the
She's
style
CA
where people.
loops,
Yeah,
so
if you want to normal attack with her, when you get those 3 flushed off, so she can actually multi attack, good for you. All right. Next up, Summer Siegfried. He can lich it up and turn-based damage to heal.
I saw that video with Wellness where Wellness put a burn on him and he lived and out healed it.
That's sick. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, this is why Siegfried's in my Wellness fighting team.
Yeah, that's good. Um, This is actually useful. It gives him new contexts to be good in. So good for you, Siegfried.
Yeah, he also it's 100% chance to convert it, and he always burns himself every turn anyways.
Yeah,
So
so it's great. All right, that is actually does change the character a lot. Summer Ilnot. She can sometimes gain a pierce when she normal attacks.
a piece. But yeah,
Oh, right.
pieces are used to activate what's it, peace out on CA, which can also yeah, cast twice on a delay and remove a buff. It's
Mm-hmm.
not bad.
So double delay. Yeah, yeah.
It makes it so that she doesn't have to totally rely on being targeted,
Mm-hmm.
but also it's a 10% chance of getting this.
It
Okay,
doesn't change. It doesn't change
yeah,
anything.
it doesn't change anything.
All right, Summer Meg. Slight chance of one turn skill cooldown cut on normal attacks. We've mentioned this before. Meg
It's
does,
5%.
yeah, Meg does normal attack like a queen, but you will not notice this most of the time. She's already good at what she's good at. This doesn't change a thing.
Also, her buttons are on 6 turn cooldown, so it's relatively short. And one her CA cuts open shark in open water.
Yeah,
So
her Summer Meg went from an excellent character to still an excellent character. All right, Summer Madara. She gets triple attack up based on how many debuffs that the opponent has,
uh, it's 1% per debuff,
to a maximum of
10% because you go into 10 debuffs in most of these cases.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't change how you use her. It just makes her triple attack more often, which is welcome. It basically says like plus 10% triple attack, which is a very strong EMP node, given that your normal triple attack one brings it up by what? 4, I think?
5.
It's at 5? Okay.
It's 221 if I remember
It's
correctly.
Oh, that's right. It is 221. I just That's right. I call it 4% because that third star is worth half as much as the previous one, so you only put it in if you have literally nowhere else to put it. All right. Um, and then Poseidon, fire damage reduction to allies. Cool. It
I
doesn't
mean,
change.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what they tend to give characters who are just already really good at what they do. So,
yeah.
um, Yukata Zalhamalina, boost to multi-attack when Iliophenea is in effect.
It's a
You will,
50% DA, 30% TA.
to be perfectly honest with you, about 99% of the people who use Yukata Zalhamalina, when they press her field, they are also pressing Nehan buttons that force triple attack.
Yeah,
So, for those remaining
yeah,
5% of you who use Summer's Alhamalina and press that button without pressing buttons that force your entire team to triple attack, good for you. You've got this. For everybody else who uses her in the old Nehan setups, it's the same. Nothing changes.
yeah,
Summer Tabina gets 10% triple attack
yeah.
because, yeah,
It's the same as
this is actually pretty welcome also. Just once again, it's just like a better triple attack node. Um, Summer Tabino is very good about just spamming debuffs on the enemy.
the best part. She doesn't even have a triple attack node.
Yeah, so she needs it more than Madara does. Um, like a lot of her lack of multi attack, you kind of made up for it by her buff giving you permanent uplift. Well, not permanent, permanent until removed by damage. But now you can try and triple attack and have uplift. It's great. I love Summer Tabina. Summer Shalem boosts defense based on the number of
Hold
debuffs.
on.
Sorry, go ahead.
She doesn't have uplift.
Is, isn't it on her skill 3?
Skill 3 is debuff success, skill specs, damage supplements.
Is that? Hold on.
You're thinking of a different dark character.
Am I? Damage is supplemented, debuff success, skill specs up, can't be removed. Oh, it's on her dodge. I just keep thinking that I keep thinking that it's uplift because she CAs so often for me and she just dodges and gives everybody 10 meter. My bad. It's on her dodge. It is not actually uplift. It is a bonus for her getting targeted on turns where she has either hit skill 1 or CA'd. Which is very often, to be fair.
She also has a natural dodge as well.
Yeah, but it's guaranteed with either skill 1 or a CA where she hits skill 1. All right. Thank you for pulling me back on that one.
Yep.
It's not actually uplift. It's just
I-
what she dodges a lot and she gives that to your team.
I'm like, I played this character too. Hold on. There was something wrong. There was something
Yeah.
fishy here.
Yeah. Summer Shalem, boost to defense based on foes debuffs. Thank God. My squishy little my squishy little debuff machine can be a little less squishy. I'm happy about that. It's noticeable because once again the lower hit points on her are also noticeable, and so you want as much defense on her as you can get so that she lives, and this helps her live. Living is good on Shalem. Summer Shiva, boost to attack on charge attack. He already has one of the highest attacks on a light character. You're
Yep.
not gonna notice this. You're just not gonna notice this.
Is that on normal mod? It's on normal mod.
Yeah. Fire Noish, specifically. Fire SSR Noish. He can get a Dragonian level on normal attacks. Dragonian, you want that to be 3. Um, that's a big threshold for him because that's when his substitute also gives him Assassin, 1 turn Assassin, as opposed to 1 hit Assassin. He gets amped damage based on these things. And so, yeah.
However, it's
Um,
only 10%, so don't count your luck on this.
yeah. It's nice, but it's not going to be how you're going to get Noise to full power. You're going to get Noise to full power by eating HP. All right, then we're on the home stretch here. Light Greya, boost to skill ceiling debuff resistance. I haven't noticed this yet. I use Greya a lot.
There
But
is
she,
not a number on this on the wiki.
because it doesn't come up. Who seals your skills as a dark character? As a dark boss, I mean. Shrug. I mean, Greya hits her button so often that I guess this is something. But like, Um, Thief has this passive also, and I've never noticed it on Thief. I have.
I actually have.
Which one? Anubis?
Which one was it?
Was it Anubis? Because I know Thief versus Anubis is something that I remember. When you brought it up, I remembered it.
Trying to remember. The wiki doesn't even have a good source of bosses with
Skill
skill
seal.
seal.
Yeah. All right. Elmont.
But
Reduce ally. Oh, go ahead.
it's really important for your healer who can clear all, not to be
Skill
under
sealed.
this influence.
Yeah, that's fair. Greya can also clear a debuff, so I mean, if there is something where you want to have Greya's more offensive kit than Thief's incredibly defensive kit, and you want to get rid of a skill seal, then yeah, sure. Uh, Elmot. Reduce allies' damage from foes that have burn effect, so reduce damage taken. Elmot encourages the boss to do a bunch of damage to you, so sure. Like, nice, I guess.
Yeah, it's 5% like every other damage reduction.
Yeah. Lich. When she has skill 3 on, she gets defense up, but also hostility up.
That can be detrimental, actually,
Yeah,
in
I'm not
certain
picking.
circumstances, like other characters wanting to dodge.
Other characters wanting to dodge, or also the fact that like even though she has like Sandalphon levels of defense, she can't heal except very slowly and passively. So her taking big chunks of damage, even with high defense, no.
My
like
100 defense becomes 130 defense.
like no. Which is fine because Lich didn't need an EMP support anyway. So one of the best
Yeah,
characters in the game remains one of the best
at
characters in
least
the
some
game.
other characters, damage mitigation is still kind of nice.
Yes.
Here, you're like, no.
I actively don't want to take this unless I'm doing relatively trivial content.
And at that point, you didn't even need it in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the worst kind of EMP. But once again, it's on one of the best characters in the game, so no one's gonna cry for her. All right, and so that is it. We have rounded out about 60 minutes for this episode. We have coming up next time the live stream. It's
What
coming.
are they saying in the live stream?
Is the URL for the live stream up yet? Let's take a look at
For
Granblue
YouTube, yeah.
Fantasy. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, I put a notification on it.
Okay, I need to go ahead and hey, look, there it is. Notification is already on. Oh yeah, okay. I was already there. All right, well, I'll see you guys there because it'll be 1 a.m. Pacific time on Friday/Saturday when this thing starts up. Um, it is funny. Usually this stream happens the Sunday before the anniversary, but they can't do it on Sunday for two very important reasons. One of them
Toyama
is
now and Onoyuki.
yeah, one of them is Rent a Girlfriend, which has an event on Sunday, and she's booked.
Did you know there's a third season?
No. And then the last one is yeah, Onoyuki has they're just ordinary guys. What is it called? Charisma something or other?
Where's or something? I saw when you posted it. I'm like, I kind of actually want to see this.
The tagline, it just scrolls past you repeated. It's like they're just ordinary guys. Let me let's see. Charisma Onoyuki. I can find the URL pretty easily there. Um, Charisma House. There it is. This is so amusing to me that I have to. Whoop, Charisma House. So this is what Onoyuki will be doing that Sunday. And so if they wanted either/both of them, they had to do this on Saturday and break tradition a bit. So they did.
That probably explains why we didn't hear about it until 4 days before.
Mm-hmm. Where they're trying to get everybody's schedules lined up. Yeah, they're just ordinary guys. You can see it scrolling at the bottom. They're just ordinary guys, guys.
Yeah, look, the 0% right there.
His 0% charisma meter. Exactly. I don't know what this is, but I'm laughing. And
I'm entertained.
Yeah, there's apparently something about a charisma break. I think this is yeah, anyway. I'll figure it out. I'm amused. It looks funny to me, but in the meantime, we will see you for the stream tomorrow. There's going to be a whole lot of news drops because um, this is the stream that will take us through August. So this is 5 months worth of news basically. Um, and it's one of the four big tent poles of the year, three big tent poles actually. We only have a fourth tent pole this year because Granblue Fest was in January and presumably will be again in December. But phew,
good old 2022, 2023.
yeah. Um, the other thing that we'll note is that we know one of the things that we're going to be getting from the anniversary stream. We're going to be getting more information on the Anila trailer, where she was revealed as the next GB Versus character to be opened up in Rising. And then the pattern before is that they will have a teaser at the very end of a full character trailer for the next character. And then probably, hopefully, in 4 weeks or so, when Evo Japan is going on, they will drop the next trailer. 3 weeks. 3 weeks after it, they'll drop the next trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, cool. We'll see more Rising. I want to see that.
We'll see what it is.
Yeah.
There's three more mechanics that they haven't showed off yet.
There are 3 more mechanics that they have not shown yet. Anyway,
You checking the page right now?
I was going to check the page. Is it versus.granbluefantasy.jp or is it /rising? Oh, there's the link down here.
Oh,
It is rising.granbluefantasy.jp. Yeah, these mechanics look well, let's see, hold on. So ultimate ability is still the one that you're nervous about.
Literally in the trailer, Gran does 3 ultimate abilities back to back.
Dash attack just looks like another
It's a
way
poke.
to encourage offense. Okay. It's another
It
poke.
gives you something other than trying to dodge as a way to stop yourself from dashing.
And then the new enders for triple attacks. One of them does soft knock. The low does a soft knockdown, so it's like, all right, it's it's a mix-up without being like a significant source of giant damage. The overhead we don't know,
Yeah,
but it's go
they
ahead.
literally say in the English version that it's like it's to open it up and keep your turn,
Hmm.
as opposed to open it up and combo.
Right. Yeah, there we go. There's the English version. I just want to weigh in here and say that Fairy's overhead is adorable.
It's funny.
Yeah,
Like
but
one of the number one things I had fears of is if that sweep was cancelable. It looks not because look how late he goes into Trauma Ray.
mhm. Good, good. They thought that one through. But yeah, we'll be seeing some more of this, and that's it for this week, DJ. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow night when we do this again, but I'm translating a whole ass live stream.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited going into these things, really. All right, DJ.
What's up?
We always answer the same things, but pie in the sky. They announce a May or June um a May or June collab. What's your dream collab?
Dream collab? Like Rico.
Ooh, that's a spicy one. I'm saying Spy Family because they already
Like
have the Shonen Jump in.
either way we're trying to get a gun.
Yeah, yeah, you right. Oh man. But yeah, meanwhile, in the back of our minds every time it's like someday Zombieland Saga.
Look, I give it up at this point. It's been 4 years. It's been 5 years since all the
It's been
Osaka.
5 years. Hey, they have a movie. That's our third chance.
We didn't even know anything about the movie.
We really don't.
Then again, we also didn't know anything about second season. We saw that at Crunchyroll Expo in
Yeah,
2019.
true. Um, the sort of like other thing that might be in the books is that they show us more of the upcoming Princess Connect collab, where they showed us a Jita Warlock silhouette and then
Oh yeah,
nothing
that
else.
is possible to show over here because
Yeah,
like when we did Blaze Blue Dark War.
yeah. Ooh, Kinuran's got a point. June collab, Street Fighter 6.
All right, so we get Kimberly because we already have her voice.
We have all of the voices because Lily's voice is Vern. um, let's see. Drang is JP.
GP.
Yeah, there's this everybody's here. Like Granblue Fantasy employs like a a truly disgusting number of voice actors. But anyway, oh man, Street Fighter 6 would be sick. And people would finally have Street Fighter 5 and get like the Chun-Li and Ryu outfits again. Those
Oh
have
no,
not been
they're
available
gonna
for
implement Drive Rush just like they implemented V skill last time.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
And Dizzy in the first one. Help.
Oh, Dizzy is a cool mechanic though.
Yeah, too bad it doesn't happen often.
It really doesn't. Someday it'll
It's
happen
like
again on Zoe.
Street Fighter characters and Zoe.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you again next week when we go over everything that was dropped for us on the 9th